I'm asking the wrong question. Cut. What mindset shift you had to change for this financial journey?
So my mind shift change really happened when I just had to realize that I did not know what I was doing with money. So I had to change my mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth and an open mindset.
Welcome to Live Life with Jay. I'm Jay, and if it's your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So far I've talked to you about some little different things to get a handle on your money, but I wanted to bring you a real life testimony. I wanted to show you why we do it or the goal that we aim for. So before we continue, I do want to say that each person is different in their journey. It varies depending on what bills you have and expenses, and of course your income. But I want to welcome my best friends. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Chrissy.
So before we get into your personal story, Chrissy, I just want to tell people how crazy it was that you had started your financially free journey, and I didn't know at the time. And one day we were just having a random conversation about it, and we both started talking about the same class that we were going to start. Out of nowhere, we brought it to each other's attention. And since we've been on this journey together, and I couldn't have been more excited to do it with my best friend. So Chrissy, I want you to tell everyone, when did you realize that the way you were handling money wasn't working for you?
Well, Jay, I am also very excited to be doing this journey alongside with you as well. And thank you for having me on your channel. So it wasn't until my husband came home one day and he started talking about money, and he was like concerned that we didn't have a savings account. And before then, I really wasn't paying attention to our finances. I thought we had it all under control. We were able to make our payments on time. We were able to use our credit wisely, which is what we thought we were doing. Any emergency expenses that came up, we had enough money to cover them using credit cards, but we didn't really have anything saved or put away to cover any emergencies. So my husband works in an environment where your income fluctuates because of commission. So he was concerned that if something bad were to happen, we wouldn't have enough money saved and we wouldn't be able to live the life that we were currently living. So he brought it to my attention, and it wasn't until then that I started to look into other ideas of what's going on, why don't we have a savings account? Why aren't we looking into this more? And I heard of this Dave Ramsey guy through church, and before then I really thought I did not need a financial course. It was just something that I really thought I didn't need. And because I had a high credit score and we were able to pay our bills on time, I just really thought we were doing well with money. So I really just didn't know at the time that I needed this. And I just recommend to everyone that they do take a financial course if you haven't taken one already, because it's very important to self-educate yourself on this topic, because we're not taught this in school. It's just something that you learn along the way. And if you're not taught by your parents or by someone that you know about ways of handling money, you really just develop your own ideas of the best money management habits. And sometimes that may not be the best way. So keeping an open mind is very important, and trying to find those resources out there is very important as well.
I 100% agree. What mindset shifts you had to change for this financial journey?
My mind shift change really happened when I just had to realize that I did not know what I was doing with money. So I had to change my mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth and an open mindset, and just keeping an open mind with everything that I heard and doing my own research and seeing what I agreed with, what I didn't agree with. Even though I did take the Financial Peace University course, I didn't follow Dave Ramsey's advice to the T. Like, there's some things I did differently. Like, I didn't feel comfortable with stopping investing, so I continued to do that into my retirement accounts. And we didn't put we did lower it, so we can reach some more of our financial goals, but we didn't stop it completely. And that's something that he does suggest you do when you're getting out of debt. But we really didn't do that. So just having that open mindset was very important, and just knowing that this is a continual learning process. It's not something that you're just going to take one class and then you're done. It's something that's going to be a journey, and you're always going to be learning. And it's important to self-educate yourself and to find those resources, and just keep an open mind with everything, and then just do whatever works best for you. I always tell people that just because it works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for someone else. So just finding the plan that works best for you, a plan that you willingly want to follow, is very important. So that's just keeping an open mind, and having that growth mindset is just so important.
Did you find anything difficult to deal with or to handle during your process of paying off debt?
Yes. So there were times when I would see people going on vacation and people doing so many fun things, and we did do some things, but we limited ourselves. Like, for instance, my cousin was getting married, and when we were in this journey, and I was her matron of honor, and we went to Mexico for her wedding. She had her wedding in Mexico in Hard Rock Hotel. It was beautiful. It was amazing. And we didn't stay the full week that everyone else stayed, because we didn't want to spend that as much money. So before we started the journey, I had already agreed to be her matron of honor, and I agreed to go. So I wasn't going to let her down by not going on that trip. But instead of staying the full week like everyone else, we just cut it back down. We did 3 nights, 4 days. So that was difficult. Leaving was very difficult, So there was some times when we were just like, we know it's temporary. We know that once we get out of debt, we will have the freedom to do more things like this. But right now, we just had to limit that lifestyle a little bit. So we did tone back things like vacations. We toned down things like eating out. We love eating out. We used to eat out all the time, but we didn't realize how much it added up. For instance, we would eat out every Sunday after church. We would just go to the diner and have a meal, and it was only like $20 a meal, but it added up, when you do the math on it, it's like, wow, that's a lot. And that's just for Sunday after church. That doesn't count the other times that we're eating out throughout the month. So that was something that we stopped doing. And it was just little things like that. We just had to really cut back on certain things that we were spending our money on. But it wasn't until we started doing a monthly budget that we were realizing where our money was actually going. And not just any monthly budget, it was a zero-based budget, where all your income and all your outgo nets to zero. So given every dollar a name and just seeing exactly where our money was going and how much money we were supposed to have left over was like, what are we doing with this money? And we needed to find a place for it. So that's when we just realized the things that we had to cut back on and what we really needed to focus on.
I know that through your journey, it was intense. And so there's like two different ones. You have the people who, okay, I'm just going to do my budget and I'm going to pinpoint where everything goes to, and they start paying off their debt. And then you have this intensity, this gazelle intensity, and that's the intensity that you had. So like if I had to compare myself to you, I'm like, I was just like intense, but Chrissy, that girl was gazelle intense. Like if somebody's like, we're going on a trip this week, and we're like, no, it's not in the budget, I have to pay off my debt. And I have to say that is like discipline to the T, and I have to give you credit for that and props. And because you were gazelle intense, you paid off such a great amount. And I want you to share that with the people watching, the amount of debt that you paid off and in the amount of time, if you can tell us.
Yeah, so we ended up paying off $51,000 in debt in 27 months. And that was with a lot of focus. And in that time frame, we also saved up for me to purchase a car in cash. That was $4,000 that we purchased the vehicle in cash. And we also saved for that Mexico trip in cash. So there were things along the lines, besides just paying off that we did end up saving for. But I hear you say that I had this gazelle intensity, and I still feel like I could have done more, I could have done better, but I still wanted to enjoy life. You know, I didn't want to just have paying off debt the only thing that I was focused on. So we still wanted to live life. We did things, you know, like eating out and doing like little mini vacations. We didn't do anything too large, but you know, we're hoping to, this year we were actually planning on going on a big vacation, and unfortunately COVID happened and everyone's travel plans halted. So we didn't get to do that, but you know, it'll happen eventually, and we'll have a good time.
It would definitely happen. And I think one of the most important things that people need to know, that just because they're doing a budget or just because they're trying to figure out their cash flow and getting an emergency fund and paying off their debt, that you can still live your life, but you're going to plan for it. You're going to save for it. And that's like, that'll be another segment where that's where sinking fund comes in, right? We're still planning to live our life no matter what. And I want people to know that, because I feel like they feel, oh, but if I do a budget, I am not going to be able to spend on this. I'm not going to be able to do that. No, you can, but you're going to budget for it. And that's the plan. And that's what we've done, right? We've done this the last few years, and it's great. Like, what advice would you like to give someone that they would take away from this segment that you feel that's most important?
So the best advice I could give is the sooner you start this, the better. The regret that I have from this is that I didn't start sooner. And when you see the power that compound interest gives you over time, it's just amazing. And even Albert Einstein, you know, he says the 8th greatest wonder of the world is compound interest. You know, he who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. So that's something that I always try to keep in my mind, that, you know, this opportunity we have to use that to our benefit is so powerful, and that we need to learn how to use compound interest to our benefit instead of, you know, paying it in all these wants that we have, and try to just use that to our benefit, and not hurting me financially when I'm paying off debt, and you know, it's just hurting me in the long run. So using it to my benefit keeps me very motivated. And I hope that you take this information and you actually do something with it and start your budget, or start learning better ways of handling your money.
I love that quote. You're gonna have to send me that one. And compound interest is something that someone needs to learn, and that's probably going to be another video, because a lot of people are like, well, what does that mean, right? So that's something that we need to explain to everyone. Well, there you have it, everyone. Thank you, Chrissy, for sharing your personal story, for sharing your advice, and just for being here today. I want to thank everyone for watching, for joining us today on our very special segment in our Live Life Spotlights with Chrissy Zayas. Don't forget to visit her YouTube channel. I will put the link below. She focuses on personal finance as well as starting a YouTube channel. So if you guys are interested, please go visit her site. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click that like, hit that bell for notifications, and share this video. And thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Yeah.